What's up, Brandon Smitley here, BrandonSmitley.com. No training log video. This is just a recap of the meat training cycle for WPC Worlds. Last bit of the deload is over at this point, so just kind of put my thoughts in on the meat prep cycle itself and how I hope things end up going, kind of laying things out for the whole meet. I would say that after APF Nationals, which was definitely, like, in terms of attempts, was probably the worst meet that I've put together. But it was still good enough for me to have a solid day, a solid total, and still get to Worlds, obviously. But so my biggest driving factor for the off season was to put on a little bit more good weight. And then work on some technical things going into Worlds. So I had made the switch over to flat-soled shoes, so I felt like I needed more time with that, which I knew that would come. I just needed more bar lifts. And then when it came to benching, I decided to go to a no longer tucking, at least currently for WPC. Maybe if I do another RPS meet, maybe I'll tuck again. I tend to do a little better there. But just the way the pauses were with the APF, it looked at it going with a flat-footed stance with my feet out would be beneficial, not only in terms of press command, but just more overall tightness on the chest, because they actually do make sure the bar is not moving, kind of like the IPF. And that came to bite me at Nationals, so I wanted to prepare for that. Deadlift-wise, I just had to keep doing what I was doing. Just not put myself in a crappy position like I always do. So I feel like the off season went really well. I feel like I made a lot of progress. It started off really slow. It was kind of disappointing. I took like 4 or 5 weeks like bodybuilding work, and then started to build my strength back up. And it was a slow start, but as the off season went, it got better and better and better. Things started to show a little bit of promise, and then the meat training cycle itself started just like it pretty much always does, and slowly ramps up over time. So over the course of that training cycle, I mean, my squat has looked better than ever, at least in terms of the way the bar is moving. Same thing with my bench press, ironically. I was a little worried, my arch isn't as good, but I seem to have a little more power off the chest, just a longer press. So the speed work, extra tricep work, and then adding in a little bit of chest and shoulders in the off season on those Mondays that I was doing some extra workouts, and even running that all the way up into the meet prep has seemed to help. So that's at least a good thing as well. And then deadlift wise, I kind of just made sure that I wasn't. The biggest thing I did on deadlift wise was I hit my supplemental work a lot harder than I did my actual main lift. So the heaviest I got, I think, was like 450 or 455 at, like, I don't know, halfway through prep. I'm like 5 weeks out at this point, and I haven't even pulled an opener. And I go to take my opener and basically have the heaviest day I can, and I end up getting up to 515 at like 3 weeks out or whatever it was. So that makes me feel really good that I was trained smart like that. It seems that my deadlift doesn't need all that intensity that often. I still obviously need to train it, and I was working on the technical things at sub-max, some 3s and 4s and 2s, but nothing that was like hard, RPs or maybe 7 to 8s, sometimes 8.5s there toward the end. But I think as a whole, that helped me deadlift wise. So I'm excited to see how that goes. So long as I can put all the smart numbers together and all that kind of stuff, I do believe a deadlift PR is in store for me. We'll have to see what happens. So that, I guess, in terms of the changes is good. And I'm also using the metal all blacks this meet versus the crates. We had I love the crates. I think they're fantastic knee wraps. They're really aggressive. They can just be a pain in the ass sometimes, and that came to bite me on my second attempt at Nationals. And it looks like with the flat-soled shoes, It looks like the metal All Blacks are doing a little bit better for me with the way that I squat. So I'm not, while I do have a slow descent, the metal All Blacks have a ton of pop, and I'm an incredibly fast lifter. I don't think I've ever grinded out a squat, at least in my life. So I think that plays into my favor, and whenever I decide to actually go up, I never feel like I have issues, even when I hit my 550 at Elite. So we'll see how that happens and how that goes on meet day, but I feel very optimistic and very comfortable with it. I like the knee wraps a lot. They're much easier to put on. We can control the tightness a lot more. And my training partner Trey is a lot more comfortable with the metal All Blacks than the crates and wrapping. So I think that's just going to be better for me for meet day. My goal is to win the meet more than anything else. As much as I would like to get PRs and things, that's obviously goals. But again, we're trying to win the meet here and then go from there. So it looks like my openers are going to be set at a 490 for squat, 303 for bench press, and like 479 for deadlift. Basically the same stuff I did at Nationals. I feel much more confident in my training, my lifts. I feel stronger, but I know it's Worlds. I know the way the judging was last time, so I'm just going to stay with what I did because that's what I did last time and ended up winning me the meet. So I'm just going to continue to do that, and then try to put together some smart second and thirds, build upon a total. I have some ideas in my head of how I can get a PR total. It'll only be a 1 pound PR total, but that would make me very happy, and it's not going to require like a 8 for 9 day or anything like that. It's just going to require me making very smart attempts and taking the weights that are there for me for that day. As for the rest of the week, travel-wise, I'm leaving out of town early Saturday, going to MBS Fitness to let my training partner train, catch up with David Allen and Christian Anto and all those guys down there. They're on our way. It's literally like the halfway point. I figured it'd be a good place to stop, kind of rest up. Weigh-ins for me aren't until Sunday, and we also got time change, so we're falling back an hour, so it's actually an extra hour from Saturday to Sunday, which, cutting weight, that sucks, but that's just part of the nature, I guess, of this meet. And then, like I said, we'll get into Baton Rouge late on Saturday night, probably like 10 o'clock. And weigh-ins, I think, are like 9 on Sunday. So, I will say that this is probably going to be one of my tougher cuts. Like I said, I put on some good weight in the off-season. I never got drastically too heavy. It's just that it looks like this past like 10 days, my weight just does not want to come off. I'll even say that, like right now my caloric intake is around 1,500 calories a day, which is low for someone like me. I've been low carb for 2 weeks at this point, and I've definitely seen some poundage go off, but usually at this point my weight's usually about 2.5 pounds less than it is right now, so that means I'm going to be looking at about 2.5 more pounds to work off. We could see some things happen after this recording. I'm starting to water load. I technically started water loading yesterday, just 1.25 times whatever my normal body water intake was. So I don't think I've coached many people with water cuts. It's not something I do a whole lot. But just to give you an idea, my first day of water manipulating is basically just, I call it water monitoring. So we just monitor what my daily water intake is. I actually measure it out. I carry gallons of water. And then at the end of the day, just measure whatever's left of a certain gallon, and then obviously do the math, subtract it from the gallon of ounces, and you can figure out how much you drank. So that will be that. Today's at 1.5 times, so the water is increasing. So we'll see a little bit of weight loss from today and tomorrow. But it'll also have a drive down, so I'll get to sweat a little bit of weight off in the car and just be smart about it. But will that help me on meet day? It's hard to tell. I tend to do a pretty good job of putting weight back on. That never seems to be my problem. Even on meet day, that doesn't seem to really affect me. I've cut weight since I was like 15, so my body's just kind of used to it at this point. Compete on Monday with teammate Sherry Weetham. from Canada. We're in the same, I don't know if we're on the same platform or not, but we're at least on the same day. So that's going to be nice to at least not only have my training partner, but have a teammate there, and then whoever helping handle her. We'll at least have some good synergy in the warm-up room, because I don't think I know anybody else competing my day. Worlds is a week long. There's like 1,200-1,300 lifters. So, I mean, I can't really say a whole lot in that regard and how that's looking at this point. But I'm hoping I can go in and just perform the best that I have. And, the training cycle is any reflection of what I'm capable of. I'm really excited. But I've also had shitty training cycles that have led to pretty good meets. So, I mean, the 2016 XPC is a prime example where I tweaked my back 2 weeks out and I was a little worried. Lifts fell so. Missed some lifts here and there. And, I still had a 5-pound PR total. It wasn't my best meet, I don't think. I think that was 2015 XPCs. But, that it shows that things can turn around. So, pending weight cut and all that kind of other good stuff, the training cycle should be good. The biggest takeaways that I've had from this training cycle was just to be a lot smarter in my exercise selection in terms of supplemental work, and really dig deep and look into what I thought was going to make me better over the course of 10 weeks. And I think I did a really good job of that for once going into a meet, so I'm excited to see how that pans out. On the other hand, unfortunately, as I've mentioned, I think I mentioned it in a training log and another video, and I think I've even said something on social media. It's been my last powerlifting meet for probably, I don't know, 8 months maybe. So it's kind of bittersweet knowing that, I kind of want to have a really, really good meet to end that on, because I know that after doing the bodybuilding stuff and some of that dieting that's required and the different training and how that's going to affect my overall strength, who knows. I know that my next meet that I plan on trying to do is at the end of May. I'll still be raw, and I think I'm looking at doing AAPF Nationals in Chicago. It's only a 4-hour drive for me. It's really close. It'll qualify me for WPC Worlds in September, I think. So that's the goal there. Will be to do that meet, and luckily it's going to be shortly after doing the bodybuilding stuff, so my strength will be where it needs to be. But again, all I've got to do is take top 3 of my weight class to get to Worlds, so I feel confident that I can do that. Even after coming off some of the bodybuilding stuff, I'm excited to see how the recomposition plays out, and how I bring up certain weak points in certain areas. Because I'm definitely going to be putting some probably solid muscle tissue on places where I need it, and how that carries over to my total and all that kind of great stuff. So I'll try to keep things posted on social media throughout the day with how I'm doing. We might even use the Facebook Live option. I don't know how that's going to go and what we're going to have access to and how hectic this is all going to be. I know it's a big meet and they don't mess around, so we'll just kind of play by ear. But I'll definitely try to keep things as updated as possible between lifts, at least each individual lift itself. But that's all I've got. I guess if you got any questions, you can leave them in the comment section or training log video or whatever. But thought I would at least recap the training cycle, and I mean, it was a good one. It was a really good one. We just got a couple days to make weight, unfortunately. But I feel pretty confident about it, and I'm excited just to compete at Worlds, to be honest. It's something that I wanted to do, and they didn't have the knee wrap thing until this year, and I think that's pretty cool. I think it's a step in the right direction for the APF/WPC. I think you're going to see that grow over the next coming years, just like how the XPC did. I know XPC was kind of not really the premier meet for a while because it was Raw Unity, but then Raw Unity got rid of knee wraps, and we saw what happened. So everyone just started drifting to XPC, and that's what happens when there's money versus bragging rights. Bragging rights are important, but you can always have the bragging rights. The money backed up at certain meets helps. So I will miss doing the XBCs. I will admit that. I'll explain that a little bit more, I guess. I was debating on the on the fence whether I wanted to do XPCs or not for 2017. And while deep down I want to, I like the meet itself. I think it's a really good platform for powerlifting to be at. I wish it was on the main stage, but you know, it is what it is. I just have, as of right now, I have one lifter that I coach that is qualified, and it'd be his first time doing it. And I kind of want to give him some attention for his meet, and I don't want to be selfish and say, oh, you know, I can't handle you because I compete the next day or whatever. And then I also, CJ, a guy that's been training with us now on the weekends that just moved over here, he qualified earlier in the year, and he said he wanted to do it, and he wanted me to help handle him as well. I think he's going to actually be on the pro day. I'm not sure. I don't know. He squats at over 800, so I'm guessing he's probably on the pro day. So with two lifters, to me, I think it's just better if I just give my time to them, focus on the bodybuilding stuff, let my body heal up some nagging issues, you know, chase something else for a little bit, because I don't know how many shows I'm going to do. It's going to be anywhere from like 2 to 5. I think we maybe said 6. It just depends on time frame and how my body leans out and adjusts. Chase something else for a little bit, and then worry about myself in May, you know, late spring, early summer. So looking forward to that. So I'll still be at the Arnold. You know, I'll be there coaching, and I think it'd be cool to kind of be able to watch and kind of get different perspective of things rather than actually being on the platform and underneath the bar for a little bit. So I'm sure there's going to be lots of Elitefts teammates who are going to need the help anyways. So this year I'll just take a back seat and focus on perhaps 2018 for the next XPCs for me. So, all right, that's all I've got. Enough rambling. Got any questions, leave them in the comment section. Thanks for checking in. Keep up my stuff over at elitefts.com.